As an out-of-work intersectional feminist cover band, we thought it was very important to let the world know that we are in full support of the lockdown.
Don't stop quarantining. Give us some rules, Mr. Science Man. And some just lock me down.
With live music being canceled, we have not played very much.
Yeah, but you know, women have it harder.
Women obviously have it harder. It's been more difficult for women.
Some people say that it's the Chinese to blame, but I know it's all Trump's fault.
Yes, it is.
Ain't that the truth?
I see a very promising future for that band, and my favorite, of course, was F you. I'm gonna do what you tell me. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot of insanity to get into, especially in the financial markets, which we're gonna be focusing on, as well as talking about Trump's interesting pick for a lawyer, more flip-flopping absolute nonsense from Dr. Fauci, and we're gonna get into why people are waddling in China. Yes, that along with some interesting financial news highlighting the absurdity of this year, which I have to say, Ryan Long in his latest skit definitely represented very well with his latest video that we just played a short excerpt of. If you want to see the full video, we have linked it down in the description below. All of this happening as, of course, lockdowns are being extended for Western Australia, a population of 2 million people, because of a single, yes, an individual new case of the concholeal sickness. Yes, one person getting a positive test is leading to 2 people being put back under very strict lockdowns. And in my opinion, that is absolutely ridiculous, especially after looking at some of the studies and the wide-ranging effects that lockdowns have on populations. Now, we're going to get into more crazy related news to this in just a little bit, but if a government is not locking you down, they are definitely taxing you to death, as of course many people need to realize that they face income tax, sales tax, property tax, capital gains tax, inheritance tax, on top of an essentially rigged financial market that only benefits the special few billionaires that profit off of top-notch government socialism for them, and of course, breadcrumbs from everyone else. And there was a moment in time last week where the peasants, the people, actually started playing the market. They outsmarted the hedge funds guys, and because they did, the system absolutely lost its ish and started attacking average people who started playing the stock market. They played it smart, they played it by the rules. The only problem here the establishment found was that poor people were actually making money. For the first time in a very long time, the rich people actually lost money because they were outplayed, and then they decided to rig the game for their own personal benefit. This saga is still unfolding right now, as of course there's a class action lawsuit against Robinhood, who forbid individuals from purchasing some stocks. They allowed them to sell them to, of course, help out the hedge funds. The SEC is looking like it's going to be sitting on its hands and not doing much, especially with its connections, along with the Treasury Secretary's connections to, of course, a lot of the major companies that are implicated here. And to commemorate this moment, we made our own special t-shirt epitomizing this exact moment that we're in with our new banker t-shirt, that on the t-shirt is defined as a ruthless scumbag who will eat your lunch and then charge you for it. Yes, you can get this shirt right now for a limited time only until they take it down on the link in the description below, as well as all of our other t-shirts, most of which that have been banned, that are back right now for a limited time only on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Yes, you heard that right. Thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Go on there right now to get all the shirts that were previously banned before that are back up now. Hopefully not just for a limited time only. We'll see. I'm wearing one right now that says maybe the day had a family-friendly show, had a poopy you, but not poopy, you know what I'm trying to say here. Just check them out on the link below. Click on it right now to see all the shirts that we have available for you right now. Now, after this whole GameStop saga that is still unfolding, that will most likely not lead to any significant changes at all, especially within the establishment, but a lot of people are saying, what's next? What do we do from here? Some people are saying silver as a response to put a squeeze on short sellers of silver. There's some in the Reddit community who are Silver, saying that this is a misinformation campaign and that this is also very oddly being supported by the mainstream media. This is, of course, according to one of the posts on r/stocks that has received over 33,000 upvotes. That makes the point that it's absurd that it seems like some elements of the establishment are actually trying to encourage this, according to this user. They're making the arguments that silver is not shorted at all, that hedge funds own a ton of it. Now, for full disclosure, personally, I like silver as a store of wealth and as an alternative to the US dollar. I even made a video about it last week or 2 weeks ago, talking to you about the silver business. And at the same time, I think this post is interesting, but in the making of this, we do see silver prices going up as it's increasing in price the most in 11 years so far, while, of course, shares of GameStop are sinking. GameStop was, of course, the first company that Redditors rallied behind when, of course, a major hedge funds shorted it, trying to, of course, make sure that it would collapse. They originally planned for the price to collapse, then, of course, they would sell back and make a ton of money off of this collapsing stock, which they were a part of shorting. Some Redditors stopped that. They have even put out a billboard saying GME, the stock sign for GameStop, go burr, and Robinhood is still limiting people the ability to purchase more stock of it, along with, of course, AMC, BlackBerry, Express, Nokia, and others, which of course hedge funds are planning on shorting. Now, even with this limit happening, we have to understand there are reports just from GameStop alone, a hedge fund lost 53% in the whole because of this single independent move. Now, how do we make sense of all of this? Where do we go from here? Is silver the answer? Is GameStop stonks the answer? Well, if you're trying to get that answer from a YouTuber, yeah, you're not in a good position. I am not a financial expert. Do not take any financial advice from me or any other YouTuber. Please do your own homework, do your own research. It is more imperative than ever, especially in a market that is being manipulated for the benefit of the special few. The last thing I would want to see is individuals being taken advantage of and then be screwed over by the people who usually screw them over, the establishment. Now, the response from the establishment here has also been extremely telling, especially when it comes to some of the parties involved, like Robinhood, that actually released a statement saying that they're, quote, helping those left behind by Wall Street, not hedge funds, which is absolutely an Orwellian doublespeak 2 + 2 = 5 statement that has no basis in reality. Elon Musk actually even quizzed the CEO of Robinhood on this. So did actually even CNN with Chris Como, peppering the Robinhood CEO with some actual legitimate questions, which I thought I would never say, but that actually did happen. Otherwise, the remaining mainstream media coverage of this has been absolutely pathetic and awful. We had MSNBC literally have this fool on who couldn't even look into the camera, who looks like reading a script here, telling people to build relationships, to go find lovers, to do anything except to trade, because according to him, according to this MSNBC financial experts, people are going to start hurting themselves and start cutting themselves because of what's happening right now. And what's happening right now is the plebes, the peasants, are actually making money off of the stock market by playing by the same rules as the hedge funds managers.
But the biggest loss of capital here will be the human capital of young men who are sitting and staring at their phone and watching the price of Bitcoin or the price of AMC. I think we are setting ourselves up similar to how there's a ton of young women out there who became very depressed by sitting in their rooms looking at Instagram. Self-cutting and self-harm skyrocket. I think you are going to see an explosion in young male depression, and I think a lot of it is going to be reverse engineered to apps that convince you you're part of a movement.
And because of people earning a little bit of money when they usually didn't have it, when the hedge funds managers usually got it, this man is telling you that you're going to start cutting yourself. Yeah. not a good sell. Now, of course, it is important to point out that suicide, self-harm, depression are up dramatically, especially when it comes to children, but it's not because of a Redditor that actually made a little bit of money by playing the market. It's usually because of poverty, socio-economic problems, larger psychological issues, especially with the mainstream media and big tech social media algorithms, along with the lack of proper diet and exercise, according to some studies that point to this rise of decline of mental health, which we have been seeing all throughout the United States. And the lazy, pathetic propaganda doesn't stop there. The elites, of course, commissioned their late-night TV show hosts to puppeteer the same talking points as, of course, we saw Jimmy Kimmel, who is supposed to be a comedian, who now looks like he had literally the life sucked out of him. This looks like an individual that literally sold his soul, who said this.
Because a bunch of amateur investors, maybe even some Russian disruptors who are part of a Reddit community called Wall Street Bets, decided to buy a bunch of GameStop stock.
Yes, because everything that is bad, Russia is responsible for. I mean, someone absolutely has to be totally deficient in IQ points to believe that rhetoric, which of course has no basis, has no evidence, has no facts behind it at all. Just, of course, lazy propaganda. Who are they protecting? Well, they're protecting hedge funds managers like this victim of this GameStop frenzy that now is building a bigger mansion. Yes, the hedge funds manager that's involved in all of this is knocking down a house next door so he could build tennis courts, which construction is still continuing to be built. Thank you, Jimmy Kimmel. Thank you, MSNBC. Thank you, the mainstream media establishment that is protecting these individuals from, of course, those pesky poors and them playing the market. On the other side, it looks like we have somewhat of a populist uprising with even Popeye's Chicken taking advantage of the popular sentiment here by starting off a campaign that is called Tendies for All, as they are going to be giving out special promo codes in the name of the stocks that the Redditors have decided to buy. So yeah, mainstream media, ruling establishment, and government on one side, Popeyes and Redditors on another. Who will win? We will see. And most importantly, what side are you on the big silver debate happening right now? Is it a distraction? Should people just stick to these particular stocks? What's your strategy, and what do you think is the right thing to do from here? Would love to hear your feedback down in the comment section below. Also, in other news, the ruling establishment mainstream media spokesperson for the Conholio sickness has contradicted himself, as he just came out in a statement on national television talking about how there is no data that talks about it being effective to wear 2 masks. After 2 weeks ago saying wearing 2 masks is common sense. That's the government to you in one kind of representative sentiment. Also, there's a viral video going around showing Chinese people waddling, which allegedly, according to some fake news out there, was after the new line of testing for the Conholio sickness, which goes into your Conholio. You know, I think there was a reason I always started to call it a Conholio reason. I mean, obviously it was for simple reasons why I've done it here on YouTube. But now it definitely brings a new meaning to it, don't you say? And yes, the video of people waddling is not from receiving the Conholio sickness test inside of their Conholios. It's more fake news that needs to be called out, because as independent media, it's not about a narrative or an agenda we're trying to push to you. It's about calling out fake news and telling you the truth as best as we can from the evidence provided to us, from actual research that we do combined with critical thinking outside of the mainstream media disinformation propaganda efforts that predominantly benefit off of you losing or suffering. So yeah, if government exists, you have to watch out for your buttocks. Lots of propaganda, lots of disinformation, lots of crap out there. Make sure not to fall for it by doing your own critical thinking. And because you do, because you watch this channel, because you support us, because you wear the t-shirts that we still somehow are able to sell that are not yet fully censored, because of that, I am still here, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.